Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel, Charles Morse. And this is pretty exciting because I never even seen this actually happen, but this is not really a rumor, but you know, this is something that is very, very great news. I especially like the Super Smash Brothers series. I played that. I played the very first one back when, even before the channel even existed. I played Super Smash Brothers 64, and this was back on the Nintendo 64, which I would hope that they would actually put that that N64 Super Smash Brothers on the Nintendo 64, because I think it would actually be, you know, very cool to actually go back and actually be able to play the very first Super Smash Brothers that has become like one of my favorite back on the Nintendo 64. And I was like very, very good. In case you haven't played that, the final boss you come to is Master Hand. He is also the final boss here on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and all the Super Smash Bros. Games. And you have Crazy Hand, which you didn't get to face Crazy Hand until Melee. And depending on the very hard mode, you had to be like very, very good at trying to actually beat classic mode and adventure modes without even getting KO'd. Now on the Subspace Emissary, the final boss wasn't Master Hand or Crazy Hand, it was Taboo and the Subspace Emissary and Brawl. And by the time that Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U came out, I was, you know, I loved playing Super Smash Bros. On the 3DS. But the thing about that was it broke the circle pad pretty easily. You could get, like, very, very rough on the circle pad, and you could, like, you know, break it easily. Well, now the 3DS version, my 3DS version of Super Smash Bros., my copy, apparently I just can't connect to the internet that well and compete with other players more than I could on the Wii U version, because I don't know, something's wrong. I think I might have to go back and re-download it and actually try to see if I get like any success in actually getting back online and actually taking on other players. That way that I would love to actually, you know, play the 3DS version again and actually try to, you know, beat other players. And then you had to, like, you had to record those manually. Now, I know there was, like, a feature back when Miiverse existed for the Wii U version, and you could upload this to YouTube through your Nintendo account, and that would be uploaded onto your YouTube channel. And you can't do that anymore on the Wii U version because Miiverse is shut down, so I don't think that even works anymore. Now, I have actually, still able to use this on, like, our Academy Home Studio without Miiverse being active anymore. They shut Miiverse down in 2017 of November, and you can't use, like, some of the games that support uploading to YouTube and Miiverse. Well, some of those games just don't even, work anymore. I mean, you can't even upload to YouTube on some of those games without Miiverse being up. But, however, I can manage to actually, upload from our Academy Home Studio onto my YouTube channel. That still actually works, even without Miiverse being around. It's just some games are able to still upload to YouTube than others. Because apparently you needed to have Miiverse around to still do that. But some games work differently. Some can upload to YouTube from your Nintendo account, or you need like a Google account to upload to YouTube, and you need and you also need a Nintendo account. Some can upload to YouTube without Miiverse, some can't. It depends on the game, but that's not, that's just part of the video here. That's not the main thing I want to be talking about. So, when the Nintendo Switch came out, when it first came out, I was starting to wonder exactly, well, when are we going to get a Nintendo Switch version of Super Smash Brothers? And, as you know, Mr. Sakarai announced Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the game that you see now that is being played. It's become almost one of my favorite, even though the game had been out for at least a few years already. And it's looking to be pretty good. And one of my favorite DLCs, now this was a big surprise for me. They brought, actually there was three surprising DLCs that Mr. Sakarai had brought to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate series. Banjo-Kazooie, that's a game, that was a character I was familiar with when I played Banjo and Kazooie on the Nintendo 64. And you can still play Banjo and Kazooie on the Nintendo 64 as long as you pay for your Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass, which costs $50. It costs even more if you were getting like a family package. But you pay $50 when you want to have like a yearly membership. It costs you more for a family bundle. So one of the DLCs was Banjo and Kazooie. The second one, now this came to my surprise as well, was Steve from Minecraft. They managed to put Steve from Minecraft in here, and there's been a lot of complaints about the Steve character being used in tournaments and that stuff. And at some point, when you're using Steve, people had problems with this in tournaments. Steve has like some kind of super armor that he had, and basically there have been people who wanted this character, banned from tournaments. I think this was tournaments in like Europe and that stuff, and Steve was kind of like almost like no other character in the game, because no other character could, place blocks up in the air and actually be able to, trap other players there. And Steve had a way of, you could grab players and you could just, throw them, and then there would be like a block in the air where that could actually cause like some kind of a effect where the opposing fighter can actually, go down very quickly. It's like a meteor smash almost, but not quite. It's a little similar. Everybody, at least a lot of people, complained about how Steve was unfair. And there has been a lot of complaints about Steve being in tournaments. Now, I believe that these tournaments were in Europe, and I also want to say that there was a character that they wanted banned off in online tourneys back when the 3DS version of Super Smash Bros. Was out and the Wii U. They wanted Bayonetta banned because Bayonetta was like another character that could make like multi combos like no other character, and they wanted Bayonetta banned. So yeah, I get how some people complain about how some characters are like so unfair and that stuff, and it's understandable. But when they said stuff about Steve being banned from online tourneys, I was like, okay, please don't ban this character from Super Smash Brothers. I am a huge Minecraft fan, and I guess that just was for for online tourneys and like public events and stuff. Now, here is the part of the video where I actually wanted to announce this, because this one was Sakarai said this himself. He said there would be no Super Smash Brothers after his retirement. There wasn't going to be another Super Smash Brothers after Mr. Sakarai retired. And that Ultimate was going to be the last one that was out. And now, to my surprise, Mr. Sakarai is announcing a Super Smash Bros. 6. Now, for the possible release of a Nintendo Switch 2, this is probably one of the best things that could probably have happened in the video game industry for, especially team players that like fighting games like Super Smash Brothers. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2, I would imagine, would be able to run, much more smoothly than an actual Nintendo Switch, and actually have like even more power and better programming and that stuff. And this could be, announced sometime in like 2026 or 2025. And where the Nintendo Switch 2 actually gets announced, and with that, you probably might have Super Smash Bros. 6 coming out like a year later if they announce the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2025 or 2024 or 2026. Then you could probably guess that Super Smash Bros. 6 would be announced like a year later in a trailer. And then, it's like, as much as they need time, the game wouldn't actually, officially be released until like a year later. Which I would probably guess if the trailer's in 2024, it's gonna come out probably in 2025. If the trailer's in 2025, then there could be a trailer, or the game could probably come out in 2026. And if the trailer is announced in 2026, then the game could probably come out in 2027. Now, we had a trailer for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that came out like, I think 2028, the beginning of 2028, or no, the beginning of, 2028 is like way in the future. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I meant like 2018, just to correct myself on there. Yeah, 2028 is like that is, that's like 4.5 years from now. We're like over halfway of 2023. But in 2018, we got a trailer for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we didn't even get, the game was not even released until, the game was not released until holiday of 2020, or of 2018, and it was good. And then we got release of the DLC fighters for Wave 1 and 2. Now, there was actually, I thought there was going to be like some kind of a third wave of DLC. Now, this is probably, possibly, like a rumor. But I didn't believe it until there was a actual source that confirmed that there was going to be a Wave 3 of DLC. I don't know how they would actually be able to fit a Wave 3 DLC in Ultimate. I mean, I didn't know how Wave 3 was going to even be possible for Mr. Sakarai to actually, make after the complete second wave of DLC. I don't see how Wave 3 could even be possible. Anyway. But that may not be the case. I don't think we're getting a Wave 3 DLC. I think what we are going to have to probably expect is somewhere in the future, I think this will probably until Nintendo actually releases that new Nintendo Switch 2. When they announce if when they announce a Nintendo Switch 2, I could probably just take a good guess that that's when Super Smash Bros. 6 would actually be announced in a trailer somewhere after the Nintendo Switch 2 was announced. And just like Ultimate, people got pretty hyped up for the Nintendo Switch version of Super Smash Bros. At Nintendo New York City. There's even a guy that even after watching that trailer, now maybe this was in Nintendo New York City, but they were watching a trailer, and this one guy was like fainting. You remember the first trailer for Ultimate? There was the male Inkling and the female Inkling, and they were, I believe having like some kind of a turf war and that stuff. And then all of a sudden the lights just, then the whole white background just goes completely black. And then to the female Inkling's surprise, she sees this Super Smash Bros. Symbol, the same kind of symbol you saw for Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U. And you see these very first fighters from Super Smash Bros. 64, except Link looked a bit different than he has since the 3DS and Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. His bomb has changed in the game to remote bombs. It's his Breath of the Wild look. And that was the first trailer for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I was confused on the one announced for the Pyra and Mithra DLC, because what I was thinking, and I thought I was actually seeing like more Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC, and I was fooled by that. A Super Smash Bros. 6, that's something to be pretty hyped up for. Now, when is this going to get announced? Probably when the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. Now, I know that a lot of people that would say that a Nintendo Switch 2 would never happen, but Nintendo may consider a Switch 2 to come out. And Super Smash Bros. 6 will probably be out. There'd probably be like a new trailer announcement for Super Smash Bros. 6, and as much as Mr. Sakarai enjoys his retirement, he kind of wants to actually go back into making Super Smash Bros. 6, because without the original Super Smash Bros. Director, Mr. Sakarai just can't imagine somebody learning the ways how he made the first 5 Super Smash Bros. Games. he couldn't imagine how somebody would actually be able to like learn what he did, how he made games, and if Super Smash Bros. 6 was actually made by somebody other than Mr. Sakarai himself, then it would probably look a lot different compared to the first 5. Because a new person other than Mr. Sakarai would probably, have a way of making Super Smash Brothers without the first, without any kind of like knowledge on, how did Mr. Sakurai make the first 5 Super Smash Brothers? Like, what did he direct his team how to make the game, and how did he... Sorry, let me rephrase that. How did he direct his team to make the game? And, like, what characters were going to be put in the game? How were the characters' movements and attacks? How was all that going to be? There's a lot of stuff you have to consider when making a video game, especially a big like Super Smash Brothers. And it would be different without Mr. Sakarai. It's kind of like, how George Lucas made the first 6 films of Star Wars. Now, probably a lot of people are not a Star Wars fan, but, like, after the first 6 films, George Lucas pretty much retired, and for a while there was just the 6 films of Star Wars, and that was going to be, I thought was going to be pretty much it. And I heard George Lucas sold his Star Wars franchise to Disney, and Disney kind of didn't make Star Wars the same as much as George Lucas did. There was a lot of people that complained about how, Luke Skywalker, the the Jedi Master, after rescuing Darth Vader from the Emperor in Episode 6, after that, in Episode 7, when Disney made the next 3 films of the Star Wars saga, Luke Skywalker wasn't the same character as when George Lucas was filming the 6 films. And they kind of just, Disney made Luke Skywalker, someone who was, didn't want to go back to actually saving the world from the First Order, and, they put the character Rey in the 3 Star Wars films, and Rey became like the new kind of Jedi that stopped the Emperor. He came back in The Rise of Skywalker, and after the defeat of the Emperor, I apologize for the spoilers, but after the Emperor has been defeated by Rey goes and she takes both Luke's original lightsabers, which was Anakin Skywalker's if you paid attention to what the hilt looks like. The hilt is Anakin Skywalker's, which became Luke Skywalker's after Anakin Skywalker died from having his limbs cut off from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that lightsaber became Luke's. And then after episode 5, Darth Vader cuts off Luke's hand, and then Luke is constructing a new lightsaber toward episode 6, and it's the green one. And Rey gets this blue lightsaber from Luke Skywalker in Maz's tower, and that lightsaber becomes Rey's after